Good morning, Supercar Sunday. Another beautiful day out here, and obviously I want to say thank you to Porsche Woodland Hills, sponsoring an event that brings the entire car community together. And it's just another day, and you never know. I always say this: you never know what's going to come in. And Addie's bringing his alf-Track in. We had a big event here at Pierce College for the automotive program and the 75th anniversary of Pierce College. And he was very kind to bring 10 of his amazing vehicles to put on display, and this is one that he drove in. Really a kind guy. So now I'm going to move these cones. You know, I'm having fun, but I'm always working a little bit out here. So he drove this in. This is how eclectic he is. He drove this wood panel Bug, and we'll do an interview on that in a second. Good morning, Addie.
Good morning, how are you?
Addie, so have we talked about this one before on camera?
I can't remember. I don't know.
So you actually drove this. We had a big event at Pierce College. I was telling the viewers on Thursday, and you brought over 10 of your part of your collection, a very small portion
11.
of your collection. 11. This was one that you drove from the house on the street to Pierce College,
Right.
a half-track.
Right. It's street legal, by the way. It has a plate. I mean, I don't know if I put
Is it street legal or is it Addie legal?
No, it's street legal. The story was, I mean, that's the end of. Before it got to me, a guy in Ohio wanted to get this thing registered and make it street legal. So he knew some people in his local community. A judge, I think, helped him. So he pushed it through, and he got a local registration and a plate. Once it's done in one state, it goes to every state. So I can register it
When you're
anywhere.
driving this down Ventura Boulevard, what is the response from people? How do they respond?
You know who stops me the most? The Israelis. Okay, the story of this thing is the United States used these in World War II in Europe. And you know this country has a little bit too much money, so they leave their stuff behind when they go home. True, right?
Yeah.
So they left these in Europe, some of them. And then the Israelis were looking, you know, it was the independence war in 48, they were looking for weapons and vehicles. So they were finding stuff that the US left, because the US wouldn't sell them directly, weapons. So they found these. Now, the problem with this vehicle, that the original one was a gasoline engine, and this specific one still has gasoline, and gasoline is very flammable and not as reliable for your combat and all that as a diesel. So the Israeli replaced the gasoline engine of this with diesel in most of their combat vehicle. They also put these rubber-coated tracks. If you look there, you see these are Israeli tracks. So this vehicle was in Israel, and at some point came back to the United States, and I found it in, I think, Ohio, something like that, because I was looking for an Israeli modified half-track, and they're not very common, period.
So let's walk over to the other car you brought just to show the diversity. I know you have a lot of stuff,
Right.
but some of the diversity, some of the you know,
Right.
people always say you're eclectic with your collection. They love your collection because it's not just Porsche or Ferrari or GM or Ford. It is probably the most variety of any collection I've ever come across.
Yes.
There's no
theme.
No theme.
No.
And I said this morning when you drove the next car in that, you know, when we were kids, we had the
Matchbox,
Matchbox, the Hot Wheels,
and Hot Wheels.
and you have the adult version in real cars.
Right, exactly.
Some really.
I just want to add one more thing. I'm always thinking about it. Who sat in this driver's seat in 1942 or 43? Can you imagine? Can you? I mean, you look at the U.S. kids and then the Israeli ones, right? And you're sitting in this thing, and you're protecting your country or whatever it is. You know, you sent to it, and the bullets are flying. Can you imagine? Look, this is for a 50 caliber gun, but you're sitting in this thing, and you know, a bullet here goes right through this windshield. So they had, you know, you obviously had this protection that you can bring down, but it's insane. It's so hard to drive. You know, the gearbox and all these levers and the clutch. So not only you're fighting whatever it is, you're fighting the vehicle itself as far as the difficulties of driving it. And then you're not in a friendly territory on top of that. So, you know what, I have to give it to these guys, seriously, of their courage and, you know, and what they did. So,
I agree, Eddie. I agree.
yeah, so now we go, oh, this works. Okay, so now...
Let's walk over here.
From that, we could go to the hippie era, right? Here's the military, here's the hippie.
So this is what you drove. Tell us about this thing.
I was looking at cars in Europe, and that ER Classics, I think it is, had this car for sale. And look,
wait, why did so you have a half-track here?
Yeah.
That,
I can't.
and then you drove. Why
remember.
did this speak to you? Why did this speak to you?
Look at the woodwork. It's probably one of the most unique Volkswagen bug I've ever seen. Take little videos on this and the quality. Everything is handmade wood.
All handmade wood.
Look at this.
The steering wheel.
Can you imagine making the steering wheel from a, I don't know if it's a solid piece of wood that he cut and he curved, or this. Look. It is insane. Look at the hubcaps. They're spare hubcaps. So he
Actually made out of wood.
Yeah, I don't drive with these. This for I don't want to hit a bump and a hubcap fall off and I'm losing one of these. Look at this. Look at the lights. Look at the trims around here. So that's the reason. I look. It is just like we talked about the school and the kids and all that. It's you have a dream to do something and you actually execute it.
Right.
Somebody had a dream, say, I'm going to make a Volkswagen bug, and most of the panels that I can make out of wood, I'll make out of wood. Whatever it is possible, I will.
In what country did you find this?
I think it was Holland. So it was built in the US. I thought this thing was one of the most eccentric Volkswagen bug that I've ever seen. Look, everything is wood in here. This, the radio, this with all the little grooves in it, the trim around there. It's how can you get? Look, the knob here with the shifter with the numbers. It's insane, no? It's beautiful, no?
So he's got something like this. Then he's got something like this.
Just go down here.
And then, you know, he'll have his paint to sample 959 out here. And just amazing. You know, the best part I always say of the car show, of Supercar Sunday, it's not the cars, it's the people. It's the sharing, it's the community. We bring people together. That's what we do. And I think that as far as the San Fernando Valley goes, or Los Angeles, maybe even Southern California, on a weekly level, we bring more people together to share passion, positivity, love, energy, ideas, dreams, hope than any other event that goes on. And I think that's the thing. If you stand back and look at it, that's what's really amazing about cars.
My launcher. I need to move my grenade launcher. You want to come inside?
Now, at the house, you also have a tank,
Yes,
a real tank.
a real tank. Actually, my tank, I think, was in Afghanistan.
Wow. So, a funny story, the first time I went to Addie's house, he invited me up to see the cars, and I was blown away. I was blown away by what he has, and he has a real tank there, and he says, would you like me to start it for you? You know, and I'm 47, and we're all kids at heart, and I said, you're gonna start that tank? And he goes, absolutely. So he climbs in, it fires right up, and he says, do you wanna stand on top of it, go inside of it? And it was like I was 9 years old again, in an idling tank on his property. And it was one of those moments where, you know, I literally felt my childhood, because we all had all these fun toys growing up. Well, hopefully we all did. And I guess we never really grow up. I don't think you should grow up, but some more than others. But it was just incredible to be standing, and I know a lot of people have, in the military, have driven these things, but for a normal civilian guy like me, you know, it was really cool. And there he is, he just smiles and grins.
Yeah. You see the thing in the front? That's if you go into a ditch. Look at the roller. If your nose going to a ditch, the roller will get you out. It's not going to let you sink in it. This.
How much does this weigh, do you know?
20,000 pounds.
Ooh. Wow. This is not street legal, is it?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
I call it Addie legal.
No, but no. It's registered. There's a title and plate for it.
Really?
Yes. There's no reason why it wouldn't be street legal, because
No,
it's
I
all
don't say.
rubber. No,
This is what
can
makes
be.
Supercar Sunday so amazing
I
right
drove
here.
it here. Not today. I drove it for the show over there.
Oh.
It's cool. Unbelievable, right? Yeah.
Well, just another beautiful morning out here in Southern California. Supercar Sunday, brought to you by Porsche Woodland Hills.
No.
Sun's just coming up. More to come, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful day out here.